GRA boss is on the front page. Mr. Anthony Kwesi Sapon, Commissioner of GRA, says that the GRA and the media are going to work together to intensify tax reform education for compliance and revenue generation. There is also a story of Afoko. Afoko urges youth to speak up to shape national progress. Volta region please destroys 4.2 billion Ghana cedis worth of Indian hemp. This thing has been debated in a lot of groups.
How much?
It was 47,000 kilograms, so 47 tons of Indian hemp, and it's valued at 4.2 billion Ghana cedis.
What? And they just burnt it.
Yes, they burnt it in whole last week.
Good Lord.
Now, Springfield is also here. Springfield's WCTP2 contribution, major national milestone. There are people advocating for the government to really look at Springfield and help them. And there's also the story of El Anatri. He's shining at ICOM in Dubai and showing them what we've got when it comes to sculpture.
Okay, so let's get to the daily graphic for this morning. Construction of Tamale water project to begin next year. That's according to President Mahama. He was at the Ganasco at 65 celebrations. Reduce spare parts prices, minister tells dealers. Okay, you know this whole...
Which minister?
That's the Trade, Agribusiness and Industry Minister.
Okay.
Well, let's get to more stories. Rubber industry hails decision to stop raw exports, and graphic business Stanbic Bank breakfast meeting tomorrow. I mean, we'll tell you more about this. The minister telling spare parts dealers to reduce prices when we get into the details.
So the Ghanaian Times story was to do with the GRA boss saying that they are going to work with the media, right, to intensify tax reform education. Now, the News Center on Taxes is leading with a story on the VAT flat rate again. And it says VAT flat rate hike from 4% to 20% will collapse SMEs. And this is according to GUTA. And they are giving us some reasons why they think that it will collapse SMEs. For example, they say the new threshold of this 750,000 cedis, while seemingly generous, effectively creates a market split, and it segregates traders. So if Kojo and we are selling the same thing, and my threshold is lower, right? It means I'm not charging VAT, but you are selling more. So you have to charge VAT, and you may end up passing the cost to your customers. So for the same good, same traders, one can sell cheaper, one may have to sell the goods at a much more expensive price. And they also talk about the daily turnover exemption. Their other concern is that the daily turnover exemption of 2,366 is not practical. So even if you don't hit the threshold of 750,000 cedis, according to them, if your daily turnover is 2,366 cedis and above, you have to charge the VAT. So they want more conversations on this VAT flat rate to be had to shape up the system.
It's interesting because I wonder if your annual turnover is over 750,000. Are you an SME?
Yeah, you're an SME.
You're still an
really
SME. If it's more than
a lot of these businesses, small businesses, are doing business in the millions.
Okay.
These small shops and stuff. So you're still an SME. An SME should between 0 to maybe some 50 million, or in certain places they even say 100 million, right? Yeah, so
one SME.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then maybe there's a need for a policy conversation around these thresholds. To see where they would sit most comfortably, so as not to split the market as is being suggested.
But this is the challenge, for even our definition of informal should come into contest here. Because for GUTA to think that they in the informal sector were supposed to be paying 4% is in itself problematic. Okay, because the flat rate, the whole conversation about a flat rate was for simplifying payments. But watch this carefully. What we have actually done in the past, the whole conversation about flat rate was between 200,000 and 500,000. Now that has been increased to 750,000. But also, what many people don't realize is that with a modified taxation scheme, the flat rate, where at the end of it all, you're made to make payments of 4%, was basically a 4% charge on your turnover. Now, with a modified tax scheme, it is 3%.
3%.
So, you have to look at it again. But what this tells me then is that all this while, persons selling, believing that because they sell in the market, they're in the informal sector, who were qualified to pay tax, did not pay. That's what the problem is.
Yes.
And it's the reason I say consistently that in Ghana, we work in silos. The old NBSSI,
which is now GEA.
Now GEA. In 2020, under the CAP-BuSS, Coronavirus Alleviation Program Business Support Scheme.
He's right though.
We gave money to hundreds of thousands of SMEs, MSMEs. We said the only qualification was for them to be known by the Office of the Registrar of Companies through their Ghana cards. We gave them a 2-year moratorium, after which the general expectation was that they will pay back the funds. How much have they paid to the state one? How many of them have paid taxes too? Now, if we cannot go and get taxes from those people, what business do we have?
Yeah.
Telling people to pay taxes.
Anyway, there are some other stories on the front page of the News Center. Champion indigenous ownership. Springfield requires decisive government partnership. This is an article written by the editor Elvis Darko, and he's making a case why Ghana should really pay attention to Kevin Ochre after spending 280 million Ghana cedis on the operations in the West Cape 3 points. That we should make decisive. We should take a decisive decision and also partner Springfield to get the block working. And so,
I have a quick question. Let me get into some of the things I do sometimes when I'm in my other life. So, if I'm going to invest in any entity, first of all, it'll be important for me to find out how much it would cost me to realize that value, that product. Now, if it will cost me, say, this amount of money, following the realization, how much profit am I going to make before I begin to say I'll pay for it? Today, look, let's not just be saying that a guy has spent money. Nobody says, he spent money, he spent that money, he spent that money, he spent that money. Okay, let's open up the conversation. How much has he spent? Not just he telling us, I spent this amount of money. They should break it down. Let everybody see that this is how much has been spent.
And that's what Jinapo says he's going to do.
Yes. So no, you shouldn't just do it and keep it. You should bring it to us.
Yeah. It should be a public transparent.
Let's debate it. Because it's at the end of the day, it's the state funds you're going to use. So let's not just go and hide somewhere and use state funds and turn around and come and say that, we expected to make profit and we didn't make profit. Because you see, Kojo Boateng, a lot of the things the state touches turns into dust. Even if it's gold, it will turn into dust once it's the government of Ghana. So I want the government of Ghana to convince us. We need to see the viability. But also, if Petroleum Commission does a research and the minister is minded to seek a second opinion, even before the second opinion comes in, I am also minded to cast doubt on the second opinion.
Oh, but in this country, we've had state agencies do work on stuff, and then we bring in other private sector institutions, locally or internationally, to give us a second opinion. We've seen that in a lot of things. So if in this case, Petroleum Commission has done work and the minister wants to go further.
When the Petroleum Commission says that this is not viable, and based on that, you say, and so this is where I see as a confirmatory research, more or less. This is just to confirm what I believe that should be the case.
I have a question.
But has the Petroleum Commission actually completed its work? Are they not complaining that they didn't get access to all the data?
Yes, so based on the data you provided, and they have said that, you see, the concern has been that the data that was used was a 2020 data. Okay, now other data show that the figures of 2020 may have changed. So how do you do that? Anyway,
Kofi, I have a question. So with all the work Springfield has done, with all the established quantities of oil and gas we say we have 1.5 billion barrels of oil, 1.2 trillion cubic meters or whatever of gas, and all the work and the data, why is why is he not getting any interest from any of the big financial institutions?
Good question.
I think IFC or World Bank invested in the ENI project or one of those projects. We have big banks, we have big money looking for big projects. Why is nobody throwing their money in this very lucrative business of drilling 80,000 barrels of oil in Ghana's waters and work with Springfield?
And, the other question is, if you fail to exploit that resource and give me my share, it reverts to me. Because it's mine. I have leased it to you and said, go and exploit and let's share the proceeds. If you fail, it comes back to me. So, why is it that even if I want to give you money, do I then say I am buying everything from you?
In the spirit of patriotic fairness to businesses, the state can support Springfield and partner Springfield to make it work. Don't we always say the state should come to our aid?
Patriotic fairness to businesses.
The state can support Springfield. The state can support Springfield. So what I would like to know, for instance, is how much it would cost.
Springfield has spent $280 million.
We need to audit that figure. After auditing that figure,
yes,
we need to understand how much it would cost.
We can help him pay off his loans with interest and other things.
We cannot be talking about...
We want Ghanaians to venture into these things, and he has done it, so we have to support him.
If Ghanaians are going to venture, Ghanaians should be ready.
Ghanaians must be patriotic. The state should also be patriotic to Ghanaians.
So they must be ready. They must be ready. You just don't get into a field that you're not ready. Anyway, let's get to... I didn't do the back page of the daily graphic. I'll just touch it quickly. That Hearts of Folk held to goalless draw by Young Apostles. Samatex Asante Kotoko shares spoils, but with a game in hand, Asante Kotoko is currently fourth above Accra Hearts of Folk. Let's get to the graphic business for this morning. PwC post 2026 budget forum. Ghana outshines peers. Fitch projects 5.9% growth. But one of the things you may have heard also is that, yes, we beyond the numbers. I like the program that we do on the Joy News channel. Beyond the numbers, what has this growth led to in the lives of the citizenry? What improvements? So we're always talking about growing, but we're not growing in the sectors that create jobs. So, also on the front page, graphic business Stanbic Bank breakfast meeting discusses long-term development pathways, and that's tomorrow, which means we can get into the BNFT.
Yes, I'll wrap up with two stories from the BNFT. The Peasant Farmers Association, they are demanding long-term industrial policy to stem the perennial grain glut, and the BOG has taken the currency education to market. So those are stories from BNFT. And the back page, EU pushes West Africa towards stricter cocoa standards. Hey, EU.
Well, the Economic Times says preparation for issuance of Ghana infrastructure bonds begin, and VAT reforms traders clash with government over unfair system. Analysts anticipate sharp policy rate cut as BOG's MPC meets this week, which means we can go online.
Quickly, I'll go to my Joe online. Afenyo marking was one of the reasons why my clients petitioned for Tokono's removal. This is according to Tadio Sori. 95% of it is a joke. Tadio Sori tears into Parliament's vetting ritual. He says 95% of the vetting is a joke. And the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Edward, is visiting Ghana. And poultry farmers blame Chinese expansion for severe egg glut, warn of industry collapse. So they also need help, just like Springfield needs help, And Constitution Review Committee to present reports to Mahama today.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, and that Lumba sings in the Kumasi High Court. Those are some of the stories on my Joe online.
Yeah, so the Constitutional Review Committee has been at it for such a long time. Since the beginning of the year. And I mean, I know some of the people who have been working hard, like the volumes they have been reading, of previous constitutions and of memoranda that have been sent in to them and condensing it all into something coherent and feasible. I mean, I know for a fact that what is going to be presented to the president is likely going to represent quite a large overhaul of our constitution. Will it be for the better? That's to be seen.